Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 442 podcast. I'm An-Toni, and unfortunately, this week we are not joined by Tommy Sunday. He's been banished off into the wilderness yet again. But I am joined, yes sir, I am joined by the video-reviewed Tony O.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Morning, Zeb.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say this
Tony.
week. I have a lot to say
Hey,
this
Tony.
week.
Oh, I bet you do, my friend.
Nice to see you're in a good mood.
I don't care how your weekend has been, but honestly, I thought you had a pretty good one. A great weekend for Tony. Oh, hang on, I've got my notes wrong. It's a great weekend for An-Toni, more like.
Damn.
Lovely debut goal for the boy. Man United 3. Those scabs at Arsenal 1. What a lovely result. What a great weekend of football for me.
Yeah. The bullshit of Old Trafford continues. Yeah.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah,
Tony, you should be used to losing streaks at Old Trafford at this point.
I am. Yeah. I remember 2004. I watched it live. You cheated then as well. So, yeah. It's nothing new.
Tell your captain not to trip people.
I tell you something. If VAR had reviewed Rooney's dive, I'm 100% sure they'd still have given it. 100% sure, because
Oh baby,
it's
the tinfoil hat is back on.
Yeah,
It's on. Conspiracy theory Tony is back, baby.
It is justified this week. They've had a shocking week, and
they got the decision correct in the United.
No. Listen. Let's
actually no. Don't move on. I prefer it when you stay mad.
Let's start with the football, right? Because the football will take us to the nonsense. So we can start with the football, and I thought you guys started pretty well, actually. You started the game.
I thought United were great for the first 20 minutes.
20? Oh, I don't think you were great for the first 20. I think you're giving yourself way too much credit. You were good for the first 10.
We were good until the point where Arsenal had their goal chalked off.
Exactly. That was in 20 minutes.
After that, we lost. Was that not 20 minutes?
I
was on the 20th minute, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Regardless, I thought United were good until that point, at which point, from there on, Arsenal started playing better.
Yeah,
you got their rhythm back.
You lost your confidence. Well, yes, Arsenal did find their rhythm. I think a couple of things helped. The ability to actually go long and short to a striker. Gabriel Jesus didn't score, but I thought he was really, really good on the day. Helped us out.
He is a good player. He had a good game.
Yeah.
It's a real shame about the result.
And we get to that moment, and I'm sorry. There are some things that there is no point reviewing with. Let me ask you something, right? What do you think Paul Tierney saw with that decision?
I don't think Paul Tierney looked properly. There's a reason he reviewed it. The only thing...
No. The reason he reviewed it is because he was told to review it.
I'm assuming... Look, the issue with Paul Tierney is... I think that he thinks that Odegaard has won the ball, that he's played the ball.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
He doesn't think he's won the ball.
How do you know what Paul Tierney thinks?
No, because it's very obvious. There was no... No.
If you do have this...
Odegaard did not put in a tackle.
Why have
he did not put in a tackle.
Listen, this is a conflict of interest.
This is exactly what United
fans...
It's
a trip from behind.
Tripped.
Two hands, dude, and then he's tripped.
Hold on. Look.
Go on, Tony.
Look.
Give me the salt. Give me the salt, Tony. It's delicious.
Eriksen, he's not aware of Odegaard's. He's not aware of the pressure coming in. He's caught off guard. And he tries to shift the ball. And in one desperate attempt, he goes to ground trying to play the ball. That's it. There is pressure. There is contact.
There's a trip as well.
Okay.
Go listen to Ian Wright on
This is the problem I want. I'm not saying that Odegaard's... I'm not saying... Yeah, but so did... Look, Gary Neville spoke about it as well. By the way, Gary Neville, after the game, said Paul Tierney was not happy with VAR's decision, which is what... This is the stuff that makes me furious about VAR. Because if Tierney's not happy with VAR's decision, why is he overturning it? Why? Like... You have some fucking balls. Like every single ref in the league, whenever they're told to look at VAR, who was it? Michael Oliver. It's the first time I'd seen it in maybe years that a ref was told to go to VAR, and he actually stuck to his decision. That was in another game. The Arsenal game, anytime a ref goes to look at the monitor, they change their mind. It's poor. The thing I hated about that decision is, or about VAR in general really, is incidents get judged separately from the rest of the game. The ref has set a temperature and a bar for what he considers to be a foul. And I pointed this out, that what's going to happen now is in 5 minutes, there's going to be a challenge just like that one. And Tierney's going to let it go. Did that happen or not?
No.
Oh, you are so full of shit. Like, we were in a group chat. And even
this is so tasty right now. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
We call our friend Pogba. I mean, he's branded as Pogba. Anyway, he straight away said, in fairness, that's a foul too. And my point is, yes.
Oh yeah, the Varane on Jesus thing.
No, but like that's my point. Referees have a temperature for a game. They have a temperature for a game, and they judge it that way. Right? Like, some referees, they go into a game and are like, okay, this is going to be the physical threshold that I have for a foul. And he had that. But problem is, with VAR, they then choose when they decide to intervene and when they don't. That Eriksen was weak. That's it. How can Odegaard be the person pushing you off the ball, man? Have some fucking... Like, he's weak. And we know Eriksen is weak.
It's easy to push someone from behind. Hey,
question.
Tony, look,
was Maguire...
If the shoe had been on the other foot... If the shoe had been on the other foot...
I would have said, get up.
It had been Eriksen pushing Odegaard.
Look,
you would have been complaining there was a
final. There was a Carabao Cup final that Aguero pushed.
This is delicious.
There was a Carabao Cup final.
You are nourishing me. You are giving me strength.
That's fantastic. There was a Carabao Cup final where Aguero gave Mustafi a bump, same player, but gave Mustafi a bump, right? Gave Mustafi a bump. Mustafi's looking at the ref. Aguero goes through.
Talking about
I am trying to.
I don't know how long ago.
I am trying to point out that in that moment, I look at Mustafi and I say, "Be fucking stronger." Eriksen needs to be stronger there. You cannot play in deep midfield, dallying on the ball, and expect that Odegaard's gonna be respectful of your
not
space.
To trip him.
Yeah, he didn't trip him, man. Contact, not all contact is a foul.
Two arms extended and a trip. Easy enough.
Okay, question.
Hey, let's talk about the fucking goals. Why don't we talk about the goals?
No, we're talking about the officiating, right? Was Maguire's foul on Eddie a penalty? Question.
I don't think it was.
Wow. So 2 hands wrapped around Eddie is not a foul. But a little brush from Odegaard.
Already well gone.
You guys have no...
They collided. They just collided with each other. Ball
Nketiah gets there. Nketiah plays the ball. Nketiah gets past him. And Maguire wraps his arms around him. And your answer to that is...
they've collided with each other, Tony.
Okay.
Please
foul on
continue
Saka.
To stay mad, because this is so much fun for me.
The foul on Saka... Is that a penalty or not?
I rewatched that. Saka lands on... Malacia slides in. Saka's in the air. Saka lands on Malacia. You're not getting a penalty for that. Come on, Tony.
Are you kidding me? He lands on... Why has he landed there? How has he landed... In the moment, you said he was a penalty.
Malacia. Malacia slides when Saka's in the air. He doesn't touch Saka.
That's
Saka lands on Malacia.
Do you know what you sound like? That's like saying you go up for a header, Harry Kane makes a back for you, you land on Harry Kane's back, and that's not a foul. That's what you've described right now. You have to be responsible for the safety of your opponent. You can't just slide in recklessly. That's what you've described.
He didn't catch him while sliding, though. It's different from Kane backing into someone's legs while they're in the air.
Kane didn't catch him while backing into him. He made a back for him to land on. That's the same thing. You can't have balance if somebody is impeding your contact to the floor. Like, I don't... Tony, what are you talking about?
Do you want to talk about the actual football at some point?
We can talk about the football. We can talk about the football. I thought your football was shit. Was shit. You have good players. It was a reminder.
You got sliced through thrice by shit football. Congrats.
No, we got sliced through.
Congrats to Arsenal.
We got sliced 3 times by good players.
Sliced through by shit football.
No.
Well done, Arsenal.
Shit football, good
Top
players.
Top of the table gets you that?
Shit football, good players. You guys have good players. We've said this before. You guys have good players. I thought Rashford had his best game in...
Excuse me, Tony. 1 second. I need to go get some water. There's so much salt in the air right now.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought Rashford had a good game. It's good to see he's still a footballer. This game reminded me of the Liverpool Man United game like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where.
Oh, give yourself some credit. You created much more than Liverpool did in that.
No, game. I'm talking about the pattern of play. I'm talking about the pattern of play, not necessarily the quality of the performance. I thought we played better than Liverpool did, but I've been saying this all season.
You played considerably better than Liverpool did that day. Like Arsenal, I'll give Arsenal credit. They created chances. The problem with them is they couldn't execute in terms of finishing.
It's been happening all season.
That Odegaard attempt was pitiful. There was the Saliba attempt in the first half that should have been much better than what it was.
Yeah, it's Saliba, but like even Saka, I think Saka should have done better. I've been saying this all season. Like we're going to talk about the transfer window at the end. There was a lot of uproar about Arsenal not securing Douglas Luiz at the end of the window. For me, I have been consistent in saying I think we need another forward. I think we need another forward in the group. Smith Rowe's fitness is unreliable. Saka, this was Saka. I mean, we'll get to. Sure. I mean, Saka scores, finally. That was his first goal in open play in 22 matches. He hadn't scored in open play since April. So,
in fairness, he's so shot shy. It would have been criminal if he hadn't scored that. Like, that's the best chance that you will get as a forward.
Oh, he's had better chances. He's had better chances than that, trust me. He could have, like, it. Yeah. United... I mean, if we run through all the goals, the first goal, I think Martinelli has a chance just before that. Am I right? But that De Gea saves, good save.
Yeah. That was a good bit of play from Arsenal. Good cross from the right, good save from De Gea.
But
and then I thought the pass from Eriksen to Bruno into space was excellent on that. I thought Eriksen had a very good game on the ball.
No, he did. I think. That gap is created because Gabriel makes a challenge. I can't remember who it's on specifically.
He comes in. Once Eriksen plays the pass into Bruno, Gabriel goes in to make a challenge on him.
Oh, yeah. Which would have been a foul, I think.
Because Bruno's already got the ball away to Sancho.
But instead of recovering, he's engaging. He's talking to the referee, trying to say it's not a foul, instead of just recovering and going straight away. And because of that, Zinchenko doesn't cover the gap between...
Zinchenko's screwed from that point on because he's got to deal with Rashford on one side and An-Toni on the other. Sweet little finish.
Yeah, good finish. I saw enough in that game.
We love a debut goal. We do love a debut goal.
Yeah, your Anthony's love a debut goal.
We do love our Anthony's.
Yeah.
Hopefully this one pans out a little bit more consistently. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, he's got a bit of aggression about him. Tommy and I have that little wager going on. I think Anthony, I don't know if there's a H in there. I think he'll score.
There is no H.
Yeah.
One thing I do really like about him that helps United a lot is it's an actual left footer on the right wing, and he actually stays out wide, so it helps us sort of horizontally stretch defenses a lot more than say Rashford or Sancho would on that side, because they're always cutting in. And Anthony likes to start from a much wider position.
Yeah, he's been schooled right in the way that Ten Hag wants to play. He's playing that Saka role. He did it really well, holding his width. He doesn't attack the fullback very quickly. He has a bit of the Pepe's to him. He likes to feel the ball, but United would be hoping. Actually, I think if he puts Pepe numbers, you guys will be happy. The way your forwards have panned out recently. But anyway.
Hey.
Am I wrong?
Forwards did just fine on the weekend.
Am I wrong?
Forwards did just fine on the weekend. But you know what? We also appreciate young Marcus. Saw that Arsenal looked a bit hungry at the back. Fed him a couple of goals. We loved it. It's honestly, Rashford running in behind, that's when he's at his happiest. Arsenal's line kind of played into that, especially on like the third goal. At which point, Arteta just kind of made a whole bunch of weird changes.
Arteta lost his head.
I was gonna say it looked like Because Arsenal were still, even at 2-1 down, they're still in the game. They're still pushing well. I don't think there was a need to change the shape.
No, there wasn't. I mean, the second goal, that's overconfidence by Arsenal, I think. All of our play was in the wide positions, but you guys were not pressing us at all, that we felt confident to start fucking around. In center mid, we just scored. We were like, okay, we're going to go on to win this game. We're feeling ourselves. Very naive goal to concede. Lokonga, I think, loses the ball in the middle. It's one pass to take out our defenders. You can't lose the ball in the center against Man United. That was their entire game plan. And but the third goal, that's just, yeah. Sometimes you can see Arteta's his inexperience, right? Like he changed. We basically have two formations that we play, and he wants to bring on Nketiah, right? But he doesn't want to take Jesus away from the center, so he goes to a 3-5-2, and unfortunately that means we move away from the 4-3-3, and we suddenly have so much space in the center of the pitch that we have to cover. And Eriksen, I mean, he just walked through, because he barely runs these days. Just walks through.
Just one pass through from Bruno, and Eriksen was in. Second pass across, and that is game.
That's game done. But yeah. Good for you guys.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Where does that leave you now?
Finally, I get to dish it out.
Well, you always get to dish it out once a year against us, because we always lose at Old Trafford.
Yeah, you'll get your own back at the Emirates, no doubt, because that's just the pattern of United Arsenal these days.
Sad, isn't it? But I'm like Tommy said in the group chat, I needed this, which I don't know what he means by that, but I'm still.
I think that you've just been a little bit too happy on the pod, and you wanted someone else to be as miserable as he is.
I personally was still encouraged by, like, the problem I've had with Arsenal Man United of late is that Arsenal, when we go to Old Trafford, we just play we play the occasion, and I don't think we played the occasion on this. I was gonna say on this occasion, but we actually played the football. We didn't throw the football away trying to, I don't know. We weren't scared to play. We got done by a pretty predictable game plan, but an effective one nonetheless.
Hey man, it's been working since the 90s. Why change it?
Yeah. Has it been working? Anyway, I'll let you have it.
That's how Ferguson's teams used to play rankers.
Since the late 2000s, not since the 90s. We won the league at Old Trafford. Don't forget this, right?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. And we battered you 6-1 at Old Trafford.
We had fucking Stepanovs in defense. Like, you didn't need a game plan. You just needed to turn up. Yeah, but
bring back Carl Jenkinson.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, I thought that game was bullshit.
Honestly, genuinely, aside from all the stress, a very good game to watch. And I'm very happy with how it turned out, because that meant I did not have to pretend to be asleep when Tony called this morning. But let's move on to Everton 0, Liverpool 0. Super Frankie Lampard stealing a point off Jurgen Klopp's boys. Everton actually playing shockingly well.
They have. I'm gonna take a look at their results, because I feel like their performances have actually improved of late. Lampard's no longer playing or trying to play this football that he was playing at Chelsea. So they've been pretty solid. So they lost to Aston Villa. That's a shambolic result. Yeah, they tied with Brentford last week. So they have 3 1-0 draws in 4 draws in a row, right? 3 1-0 draws and then 0-0. I don't know if that's good or not. Like, they're not winning games, but
I mean, it depends who the results are against. Like, Brentford have been playing fairly well recently. Liverpool or Liverpool. I don't remember.
The Liverpool result is that's a great result. Like, that's a great result for them. And they could have won. I mean, Pickford was man of the match, so it's not like Liverpool didn't have their chances. But
Pickford, I think both goalies, both Pickford and Alisson, had fantastic games.
Yeah,
I mean, both sides ended up hitting the post a couple of times.
Yeah. That passage of play Who was it that hit the post before? Like, was it Salah that hit the post and then Diaz hit the post afterwards?
So Darwin had a very good shot.
Oh, yeah, it was Nunez, yeah.
And Pickford tipped it onto the bar, and then Diaz... I thought Diaz was going to score. The moment he started shifting inside, I was like, this is going in.
He probably should have. But, yeah. No, that Mopé chance, like you were saying, you have to score that. That was a 5-on-2. That was a 5-on-2, and they executed it really well.
I mean,
he has to shoot first time.
You give this guy, you just sign him, you give him Mopé, then anyone else on your forward line, you expect him to put those away.
We've seen Mopé for a few years. We knew that wasn't going in. It's Mopé. But,
yeah, but I also needed that sentence for the pun. So
okay, we're gonna move on.
Gotta keep my expected puns high,
XP, sure. Your XP.
One thing on the Liverpool side.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, they missed Thiago.
Yeah, I guess for control, they miss Thiago.
I think they miss his creativity in the middle as well. Because if you look at their midfield of what was it, Elliott, Henderson, and Fabinho in this game. If I'm not, no, it's Carvalho, not Henderson.
They created a lot of chances in this game, though. Like I do think they've missed Thiago in general.
The creativity comes from the wide areas now. There's no.
That's not always
the threat
been the case.
From the middle is much less.
Yeah,
when you have Thiago, you have Thiago popping up everywhere and creating those little triangles. Because he shifts from side to side, and he just pops up everywhere. Now, when it's when it's Carvalho, when it's Henderson, when it's fucking James Milner, you can't expect James Milner to come on and do stuff like that. He's an octogenarian. He should be in a nursing home. Let him have his sleep.
Yeah, I think so. I do agree. I think they missed Thiago. I mean, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. How could you not? But I think a couple of things, right? Because Liverpool have had periods. I mean, before they signed Thiago, they won the Champions League, right? Like, this is not. I think did they win the Premier League without Thiago as well, or had he signed? But can't remember.
No, it was. I think they won after. No, before he signed.
Before he signed, yeah. So they've been playing this football where basically Trent, who got subbed off weirdly, Klopp had this period where he played like 3 different right backs.
All right, no, I'd like to take umbrage with Klopp on that because I needed those clean sheet points for FPL, and he subbed them off in the 59th minute.
Just
one more minute, Kloppo. That's all I needed.
Yeah, that was someone's like fuck you to all the fantasy players out there. But look, I think a couple of things. I think Van Dijk's form has been quite poor recently. He was lucky to not be sent off. I don't know how you don't get sent off for that challenge. Like, his studs are really high up on the shin. Yeah. If his foot's planted, could have been a leg breaker. But I think because his form is a bit off, Liverpool aren't defending the high lines very well. We saw the Man United game. We saw him trying to defend with his mind against Jadon Sancho in the box. Like, he's just having these weird moments where his teams are no longer discouraged about trying to break forward against Liverpool. They think they'll get some joy, right? And when you combine Van Dijk's form and Gomez is not playing particularly well with the fact that they've lost Sadio Mane, who brought a lot of fear factor as well, you add in Thiago. Liverpool are in a bit of a dogfight at the moment for top 4. I think they'll get it. Don't get me wrong. I think they'll be fine. But what is it? 2 wins this season? I
think so.
Yeah, it's 2 wins this season. So, I mean, they're only 5 points behind City. Almost feels like the title's already over for them. Like, you can't see this team winning the league. But I don't know. We'll see. It's still early days. Could turn around, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been an uncharacteristically sort of shaky look from Liverpool. We're so used to seeing them over the last few years be very inevitable, very in control of games, and it's just not been there so far this year.
I think that Nunez-Salah combination is not going to work. Someone's going to suffer, and I think it's going to be Salah. I mean...
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah. I don't see... Because the way, like, Firmino or Mane play that centre-forward role and, like, allow Salah to run in behind, Nunez doesn't quite facilitate that as much.
No, he doesn't. He's all about getting on the end of things. So, Salah might create more for him, but, yeah, he's not getting in situations to score as often anymore. So, but...
yeah, you can even see it with his starting position seems to be a lot wider.
Yep.
Yeah. But before we get too hung up on that, we'll move on to Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. And, I mean, we've talked about VAR already in this podcast. And, spoiler alert, we will be talking about it a lot more because it was that kind of weekend.
Yep.
Edouard Mendy. Is he okay? Is something, what's going on with this man? Like, for the first goal and for the incorrectly chalked off second goal that West Ham scored, Mendy was just abysmal.
Yeah, the first goal, it's almost like he should have just stayed on his line. Like, he makes the right decision, but his execution is so bad that I don't know what's going on with him. His form has been in the toilet since January.
There's been so many careless mistakes,
and the scary. Well, not scary for me. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's just
it's very entertaining. It's my only regret. My only regret is that Tommy has been exiled.
Yep.
This weekend, as he is every long weekend, and as he will be every future long weekend.
Yeah. We should just plan for that maybe. Instead of waiting for the last minute message.
We should read.
I'm not here this week, guys. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Tommy, sort yourself out, man.
Anyway. Yeah, Mendy, I don't know. He's just making so many types of errors as well. Like, the first one, fine. But that second mistake is... It's really poor, because he stops for some reason. And gives him a chance to get in. And, I mean, it's a crazy decision, by the way, by Reece James. That back pass. I don't know what he's doing. But Mendy,
mad.
He freezes. This is what I mean, right? Like, why is VAR intervening there? This is what I don't get. Because the referee has seen that clearly. Why is VAR intervening on that decision? Because
I also don't understand how the ref is looking at the replay and then overturning their decision.
Because I think
there's nothing in that.
I think what happens is some official says, by the way, there was a bit of contact. Do you want to come and take a look? And then they see the contact, and it's almost like they're I don't know, it's like they're afraid that, okay, if a fellow official has seen something, that maybe... Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how it's adding value.
Maybe the refs just need to believe in themselves a little more. Maybe they just need, maybe they need like one of those self-help books, like empowering. Just empower yourselves a little more, referees.
It's a crazy decision. It's one of the worst VAR decisions I've seen.
Oh, it's terrible.
Ever.
It's laughably bad. Declan Rice was going off
he
on
was
Twitter.
Fuming.
And honestly, he had every right to.
Yeah. Even An-Toni went
David Moyes in his post-match press conference called it and I quote, scandalous decision.
It is a scandalous decision.
He's right. Like,
in the moment,
just shocking.
And in the moment, and I kind of believe this, I feel like it was a decision made to help Chelsea win, because a good Chelsea is. I think.
Let's go.
I do.
This
I
is
think
the kind of conspiracy I like.
I have this. I feel like refs are told to officiate in a way that helps narrative, personally, and I think a good Chelsea is good for the Premier League. I don't think that decision gets overturned if Chelsea get the last minute winner from the same situation. I also don't think we'll ever see that again. But yeah.
We definitely won't, because the PGMOL has come out and said that, they got that decision wrong.
Okay,
so
well,
we definitely won't see that
decision.
Well,
what are they going to do about it? Great.
Absolutely fuck all. Whoops, we'll never make that mistake again, maybe.
Until you do. But, yeah.
Hey, they're just trying to mend their errors.
Nope. Not engaging with
that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
We already talked about Frank Lampard, so it's only fair that we also talk about Steven Gerrard, because these two are inseparable, like two shit peas in a shit pot. Aston Villa won, Man City won. City have dropped points. Terminator scored again. He's got 7 goals in the span of a week, but City dropped points.
Again, it's not the first time that they've dropped points this season, but they're conceding pretty bad goals of late, City. But
outstanding finish from Leon Bailey.
It was. City dominated for 95%, as you would expect. For 90% of the game, it was all City. But that's the thing. When you don't take your chances, you leave yourself susceptible. Villa's defense, they defended really deep, made a lot of heroic blocks, shall we say. And there was a period after Haaland scored where, Villa were really rocking. But huge credit to them for sticking in there. I don't think it's
even as well as Villa defended. If Kyle Walker just passes the ball across the box when he's played in to Erling Haaland, do City players hate Haaland? Do they not? Can they not communicate with the machine? Is there a software issue? Is it like when you have like a Bluetooth device and it's not connecting properly?
He must be wondering what's going on, man. Because this happens like every week. It's like, I don't know. Maybe does Kyle Walker have a goal bonus? Do you think? Or does Phil Foden?
He's definitely not going to fucking meet it this season.
Because maybe he has like a goal a game bonus. I don't know, for a defender. It's just weird. It happens so often. It's like you see Haaland there, he's wide open, and I don't know. But title race back on.
Weird. It's weird because the weird thing is because City score a lot of goals. Or at least they would score a lot of goals by getting it to the byline and then just having that ball across the box for the tap-in. Like, I can picture, like, so many goals from the likes of Sterling and Aguero where they did exactly that. And a lot of these players were there at the time. Mm-hmm. They're just not doing it for Holland.
Yep.
But long may that continue. Please, never pass to Holland. But, hey, Arsenal still top of the table. Mm-hmm. Something for you to take away from the weekend?
Sure. I guess.
Look, run with it, Tony. Run with it. The good times don't last.
Let's just move on. Yeah. Let's just
I mean, we'll go from the top of the table to the bottom now. The clash between two newly promoted sides. Nottingham Forest throwing away a 2-goal lead, losing 3-2 at home to Bournemouth. Huge result for both teams.
How many players did Forest end up signing? 22?
21, I believe.
Yeah.
They couldn't get Batshuayi over the line.
That's a whole new squad.
It's
a whole new squad.
It's fucking mad.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the worst result they could have gotten this season. At home as well, to the worst team in the league.
2-0 lead at halftime. How do you throw that away to Bournemouth?
I mean, Bournemouth were worth, if you come from 2 goals down, you generally are worth it. But they were really good in the second half. That Billing goal just seemed to spark them into life. It was a wonderful finish from distance. And Forest just seemed to crumble. I guess that's what...
Would you say he took top billing in that game?
I knew it. The moment I said Billing, I just knew it. I actually thought I'd gotten away with it as well, but
No. You tried to power through.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, good on Bournemouth. They're giving themselves a chance. They really needed that result. They've had a rough.
You know what upsets me the most about this result is that I can't hold it over Steven Gerrard's head that he's the only manager to lose to Bournemouth this season.
Yeah, they I think they got a point against Wolves last week, right? Yeah, they got a point against Wolves
Yes.
last. Am I looking? Yeah. Okay, a point against Wolves. So that's what, 7 points. It's not that bad in the grand
No,
scheme
it's
of
a
things.
decent start to the season for a newly promoted team.
Yeah.
We're 6 games in? They're going at more than a point a game.
Yeah.
That puts them on track to be around the 40-point mark, which you want to be at to survive.
Yeah.
So, questions for Forest though. Lots of questions.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if your new signings aren't performing well, just sub all 11 of them off and get 11 new signings to take their place.
All right. Maybe they should file a petition for 11 sub rule. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, want to move on?
We'll move on. Yeah. Brighton 5, Leicester 2. Leicester, they have 1 point from their first 6 games, and I think that 1 point came in the first game of the season. They got torn to shreds by Brighton.
Yeah. It actually looked good for a period. I think Leicester scored first, didn't they, in this game?
Hey, they looked great in the first minute, and then briefly when Daka equalised and made it 2-2, but Trossard, March, Welbeck, they were running rings around that Leicester, and I'll use the term loosely, defense.
Can you explain to me how that Kelechi goal is not a foul, please? Because you see,
yes, because Yuri Tielemans goes in with his shoulder. There's no arms outstretched, and he doesn't trip a man. That's how. Next question, please.
because he essentially decided to use a different part of his body to barge a man off the
Shoulder,
ball.
no arms outstretched.
It was not shoulder,
No
by the way.
trip.
I'm looking at it
Stay
right
mad.
now. It's not a shoulder.
Please stay mad. Stay mad, Tonio.
He uses his arm. I'm looking at it. He uses his arm. What are
Makes
you
me
talking?
so
He raises
happy.
his arm. You're just
The
making.
shoulder challenge.
He literally raises his arm. What are you talking about? But anyway,
Please,
we've
stay
already
mad.
established
It
that
brings
you
me
are
so much joy.
you are extremely biased. Yeah. By the way, Harry Maguire. Anyway, I was gonna let's.
Leicester could have used him back there.
No, they
It looked
couldn't.
like they had him.
Nobody can use Harry Maguire. Nobody could use.
God, I will. As a slight aside, the 15 minutes Maguire spent on the pitch
That was an
were
amazing
the
cameo.
most stressful 15 minutes of my life.
His
He got
fir-
a yellow in like
His
3
first
minutes.
touch.
My
His
God,
first touch was a yellow
so
card.
Scared.
His second touch, he
I was
should have
so-
conceded a penalty, and like he
I was
should-
so afraid the entire time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to come back to Leicester, it feels like Brendan Rodgers is trying to get fired at this
He
point.
is.
With the stuff he says in the post-game conferences, his press conference after the United game in midweek, where
That was
he
disgraceful.
straight up called out the board.
Yeah, that was disgraceful.
My God.
If I were the board, I'd keep him there, and I'd say, okay, go ahead, get relegation on your CV. I dare you, right? Like, I'd just keep him there the entire season. But we know that won't happen. I give it 2 more games. You can't have 1 point.
It's
Like, yeah.
just look at the players. Look at how the players were turning on each other. Like Ndidi, Ward, they're all arguing with each other after every single play. No one's taking any responsibility in that Leicester defense. No one's actually getting them together and being like, "Hey, let's calm things down." Also, the decision to let Schmeichel go is looking worse
Crazy.
and worse with every single game. I know he
Crazy.
was in the last year of his contract, but fuck it, if this is your backup, and the fact that their third choice, Iverson, or I guess he's their second choice now, is not getting a game when Ward is playing this badly means you don't have any confidence in him. Why would you Why would you let Schmeichel go?
How can you play a 4-4-2 and your double pivot is Tielemans and Sumari? Like, they're in so much trouble. Like, yeah. Yeah, they need to make it. I think they need to make a change fast. Doesn't take. They're fully in a relegation scrap, and I don't see where their next points are coming from. So, watch them win next week. But anyway.
Yep, this is such is the way of the Premier League.
Yeah,
we'll move on to another big result. Brentford 5, Leeds 2. An-Toni with just a sublime hat trick.
Yeah, the modern day Lacazette. I love his penalties.
Lacazette is still there. He's still playing. You can't call someone a modern day Lacazette when Lacazette is still playing.
Hey, he's scoring in France, by the way. He is scoring in France. That was a goal disallowed. Lacazette scores a bicycle kick, and Arsenal Twitter loses their shit. They're like, where was this for us? But
because you broke him. Your club broke him.
He didn't break him. He broke him. Anyway, Lacazette's gone. Look, Tony, he uses the same technique as well for the free kick. It's the Thierry Henry special.
A gorgeous free kick.
Yeah,
he could have walked up and put the ball in that corner, and it wouldn't have been better than that.
That's basically what he did, wasn't it? That's basically what he did. He just walked up to the ball and put it in the corner. Yeah, like 2 steps.
No, I meant walk up to
I
the
know,
goal.
I know what you
Come
mean.
on,
I know
Tony.
what you mean. You said walk up and put
Don't
it in. You didn't
be
specify.
pedantic.
You didn't specify. Anyway.
Don't be pedantic.
But that third goal, that is humiliating. Like, if you're Leeds United and he's just walking past your defenders and he chips 2 defenders, right? The ball into the net. Yeah.
Rounds the keeper about 25 yards from goal. And then
just kills their spirit. But, yeah.
Hey, look, a good week for Tonys everywhere.
Nope.
Oh, great week. Oh, a great week for Tonys anywhere.
Nope. Not for me. Not for
I
me.
thought it was a lovely weekend for you. Long weekend, extra day off. I thought you were having a great time. Spurs beat Fulham 2-1. A solid win for Spurs against good Fulham team. Mitrovic continuing his desperate chase of Erling Haaland. Yeah, I don't have too much to say on this. It was just very solid Spurs performance. Goals from Højbjerg and that man Harry Kane.
If we're calling Haaland the Terminator, what are we calling Mitrovic? Punisher? What's his... He deserves something.
Maybe. Yeah. He does deserve something. He's actually been unreal so far this season.
He has.
Things that happen when you don't have Scott Parker in charge.
Yeah.
Look at Bournemouth.
Hey,
look at Mitro.
They won this
week. No, I'm saying they.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot they
Parker
sacked.
got sacked.
That's true. I actually forgot he got sacked. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they've got 4 points in 2 games since sacking him.
It makes perfect sense. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you what, we'll give Mitro the Punisher. Why not? Yeah. Why not?
I like it.
I mean, if we want to talk a little bit more about VAR, Newcastle 0, Palace 0. Newcastle having a goal disallowed, an own goal by Tyrick Mitchell due to VAR.
VAR should not intervene when the referee has made a decision. Like, a very clear...
do we want to break down the play for anyone that hasn't seen it?
Was it a free kick? I can't remember if it was a free kick that was played or just a cross.
I believe it was a free kick from the left that was crossed in. Newcastle player is going for the ball.
Joe Willock.
Willock is going for the ball. Whyita is coming out to try to claim it as well. Tyrick Mitchell, the Palace left back. Right back?
Left back.
What side does he play on?
Left back.
Mm-hmm. I follow the Premier League. I know these things. shoves Willock into his own goalie, taking out his own goalie. Some kind of inside hit job. But the ball, because of that, bounces off the pile of bodies, off Mitchell and into the goal. Ref gives a goal. VAR says, "Ooh, there was a push. There was a foul on the goalie." But the only reason Willock has taken out the goalie is because he's been shoved while he's in midair.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
The ref reviews that as well, right? He reviews that afterwards.
So, I didn't see the entire VAR analysis bit on that, but apparently they didn't show the angle at which you see Mitchell push Willock. So the ref never actually saw that angle. So all he sees is Willock. Because I feel for the ref on this one a little bit. Which just brings up an entire conversation about what the fuck is the VAR doing if he doesn't have that angle ready.
Hey, I've been asking that question for years, and you guys put a tin hat on my head, but Hey,
Tony. Mm-hmm. We can lead the man to the tin hat, but he can only put it on his own head.
Okay. Sure. Anyway, yeah, just scrap VAR. We'd all be way better off if we just scrap VAR. You can tell who dominates a game by looking at the highlights from the club. Newcastle United, their highlights were 10 minutes long. Crystal Palace, of the same game, 2 minutes. Newcastle are looking really imperious. We didn't do a review after the Liverpool game, but Isaac was really good. It's been really good for them.
He was good in this one too. He was played in on goal, tried to chip the keeper.
Yeah, should have scored. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, he's going to be a problem, and I think that brings us to our last game, which is Wolves finally picking up their first win of the season, 1-0 over Southampton. Pedance scored.
Yeah,
I don't have much else to say about this one. Not too much else happened in this game.
Wolves are terrible to watch, man. They're terrible to watch. Their football is so bad. Yeah.
I swear to God, it's been like this every season. Every season, Wolves come around, and I'm like, I don't want to watch Wolves.
And you look at they're basically the Portuguese national team minus United and Man City. It's like you can play better football than this. But anyway, congrats. Yeah, you won the game, right? So
yeah, first win of the season. I'll take that.
Seriously? Wow.
I think so.
It's crazy.
I'll double check the table. Yep, that's their first win. They had 3 draws and 2 losses before that.
Okay. Good to know.
But I guess that kind of just brings us over to the other thing we wanted to talk about today, which was the transfer window has finally closed. As it tends to do, it slams shut. It never gently closes, politely closes.
Yeah.
But Tony, how are we feeling at the end of this transfer window? What are the standouts amongst the Premier League clubs? Who do you think had for me, the biggest standout is personally Nottingham Forest, just through sheer volume. Let me go down the list of players that they have signed.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
We will be here for a while. Morgan Gibbs-White, Emmanuel Dennis, Taiwo Awoniyi, Nico Williams, Oral Mangala, Remo Freuler, Musa Niakate, Omar Richards, Lewis O'Brien, Julian Biancon, Willy Bolly, Josh Brawler, Harry Tafolo, Wang Wei Zhou, Loic Bade, Renan Lodi, Chiku Kuyate, Jesse Lingard, Brandon Aguilera, Wayne Hennessy, Dean Henderson, Ryan Hammond.
Are you done? Okay. Sorry, I was...
yes.
Distracted.
We just... we ran out of Premier League players at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to analyze Bournemouth's situation. I get they needed to rebuild, but it seems like a very, very
they did lose a lot of players as well. Like, I'm looking at I'm not going to read out the list of players that left, but it's almost as long as a list of players that joined. I will not put you through that. I will not put our dear listeners through that.
Yeah, how considerate of you.
Yeah, exactly. Always thinking about the listeners.
Who had the best window? I think Man City. Personally,
it's hard to argue with Erling Haaland, isn't it? Yeah. And you add in like Calvin Phillips. They signed Manuel Akanji right at the end of the window for some defensive depth.
Yep. Julian Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez.
Yeah. They lost a lot of players, but a lot of good players. But they still. I mean, when you sign Erling Haaland, that's a transformational signing, right? So it's hard to look elsewhere. But I think Tottenham...
How did they kill the Terminator in the movies?
That's a good question. I can't remember. All right.
So, shotguns seem to be the most effective weapon and knock the robots out of action for several seconds.
Yeah, but, and then he comes back and he scores,
So, do we arm centre-backs with shotguns now?
No, because he comes back and he scores. He still comes back, right?
But like, you just need to time it so that they can. So just when he's about to take a chance. This would lead to interesting developments on the training field.
I go for a natural disaster
the T8 the liquid-based T1000 and T800 could also be crushed and destroyed by a tremendous amount of pressure, such as a hydraulic press. So, if you can sign a hydraulic press that can also pass out from the back a little bit, you're set.
I think that would be given as a foul, though. That's the problem. But, Yeah,
You know, sometimes you have to take a yellow card for the team, right?
Or red. I'm gonna move on from this. I think we've taken it a bit too far, but yeah, Man City shock. They've had a great window.
I just asked for shotguns on a football pitch. Well, very Republican for a second.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I was trying to save you, but you've
right. Football. Right.
Arsenal had a weird window, in the sense that they brought in a lot of good players. Well, they brought in a few good players. I still think Vieira is a great signing. We haven't seen him much, thanks to fitness. He made his debut against Man United. I was actually encouraged by what I saw, but didn't have that long. The thing, so transfers are weird, right? Because if Arsenal had not signed anyone, and then in the last week they signed Jesus, Vieira, Zinchenko, a lot of the Arsenal fan base would be looking at the window more positively. That's the weird way that, that's the weird thing with the transfer window. It often depends on how you feel at the end, rather than the business.
Even though, from a team perspective, like if you do, let's say what United did and bring this raft of signings in at the end, that's usually not better. You want them earlier in the summer,
Arsenal,
so they can actually settle in and have that pre-season.
You only have to look at Arsenal to see last season, right? We had a really bad start because we did our business late. We look, Douglas Luiz would have been nice at the end. I was not that exercised about it because, like I said, I wanted a forward instead. So if I were to give in Arsenal a letter grade, a B- maybe, I think that's what I would give. I feel similarly about Spurs. I think they added a lot of depth. I don't know that they improved the starting 11 that much. I think that's fair.
I do think they raised the floor of their squad considerably.
They did.
It's the same thing where it's like, has the ceiling gone higher? Not sure.
None of their players are starting. Well, Perisic is starting, but like
Perisic is starting.
I don't think Reguilon was a problem last year personally, but yeah.
Reguilon wasn't a problem because he wasn't playing.
Oh, he wasn't playing at the end? Who was playing left wing back?
They started going with Sessegnon.
Yeah, but
like towards the end of the season, they started moving towards Sessegnon and
Sessegnon is actually
it might have been Ben Davis.
No, he was playing left center back, wasn't he?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But no, Reguilon was. I remember being very upset about it in fantasy.
Sessegnon is actually starting now, isn't he? Like he's rotating with Perisic. But anyway,
it's him and Perisic.
Yeah. Yeah, Tottenham, they had a good window as well in terms of depth. Like you said, they've raised their floor, not necessarily their ceiling. But how do you feel about Man United?
It's one of those things that I feel I like the players that have been brought in, not necessarily sometimes the prices they've been brought in at. Especially An-Toni. If we were going to sign him, might as well have paid the 60 million euros that it was going to cost at the start of the window, kind of deal.
Yep.
But you know, it looked like the lovely board decided that, hey, we've done enough, and then panicked after the first two games went horribly, which, you know, they tend to do. But I feel okay about the window. I like the players that we brought in. It's still a work in progress with the squad. Am I going to be asked to give a letter grade as well?
You don't have to if you don't want to, but like how do you feel about the Casemiro signing?
I like it in that he's a better defensive presence in our midfield than we have. He does not have the ball progression that you'd want, which was why I was so obsessed with Frankie de Jong, because he provides that ball progression from deep. But I think Casemiro, he does improve the squad. He does improve the team when he plays.
Why isn't he playing then?
Because every player that is starting right now has gone through preseason or has come in from a system and knows Ten Hag's way of playing. Casemiro's coming in from a completely different system. I assume he's just being like bedded into whatever Ten Hag wants.
Is that really
That's my read on it?
So you think Malacia? I know he was in Holland, but come on, like
Malacia wasn't starting the first few games. Malacia came in because Shaw was terrible. An-Toni came in and started immediately because he knows Ten Hag's system. Lisandro started immediately because he knows Ten Hag's system.
I think if you're going for De Jong the entire summer and you end up with Casemiro, I think that's a failure on the recruitment side. I don't think.
I don't think it's a.
Yeah.
We still don't have that De Jong type of player.
No.
But I'm not upset we got Casemiro. Considering, like, if you look at the state of our midfield last season, I'm not upset with Casemiro. I'm not thrilled about the contract.
Yeah.
Because I think the term is a bit long for someone who's 30. So that could age very poorly. I'm looking at you, Nemanja Matic contract. But, you know, I'm not over the top. I'm not going to get too excited about the United transfer window. But I think there were steps taken in the right direction. I don't know. I'll give it a B-, but I think I'm also a much more lenient grader than you are, because I would have given Arsenal higher than that. I'd have given Arsenal a B+. So
no, I'd have given United a C personally, which is actually a miracle considering how your window started.
Bump up the grades.
Yeah,
we need to bump up the grades from you, Tony.
No, I don't.
Bringing the averages down.
I do not grade on a curve. I give you what you deserve. So, yeah, we could look at a few more. Chelsea.
I mean, Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea, because to this point, I still don't quite understand their plan for this window.
Yeah,
let me have a quick look at who they brought in.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Chelsea brought in Wesley Fofana, Marc Cucurella, Raheem Sterling, Kalidou Koulibaly, Carney Chukwuemeka, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I forgot that they signed Aubameyang. And Dennis Zakaria, I believe. And, of course, Eddie Beach.
So I think Fofana's a good sign.
Fofana's a good player.
I think Fofana's a good signing.
He'll be good.
I think they overpaid, but I think it's a good signing. I think Cucurella is a good signing, but they overpaid. I think Sterling's actually. I said he might struggle. He's been one of their better.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been one of their better players in attack.
He's rounded into a bit of form over the last couple of weeks.
I don't know, man. If it feels very similar to Man United, actually, in the sense that, like, why?
It's a very scattergun approach.
Yeah, like, why sell? Well, not sell. Why get rid of Lukaku to sign Aubameyang? I don't get that. There's the same issues you have with Lukaku are the same issues you're going to have with Aubameyang. He does not get involved in the play. Unless they're signing him to play on the left. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. But then they've already signed wide forwards. They don't have a centre forward, which has been such a sticking point for them.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a weird thing where they have so many wide forwards and so many guys that love to cut inside, but no one to actually facilitate that in the middle. Like, are you going to play Sterling as your centre forward? I don't. He's so much better coming in off the wings that it's a waste of Sterling to put him over there.
Havertz finally scored, so you have that. He scored.
Yeah, when he was playing as a second striker, not as a centre forward.
Oh yeah, Broha came on, didn't he? Yeah.
Maybe Broha is the decision. Maybe Broha is the future.
I mean, you'd like to think so.
Knowing Chelsea, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. Chelsea.
It's a weird window.
They got numbers in and they got quality in. Whether it comes in a plan remains to be seen. But they are all good players in their own right. Like
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, Eddie Beach remains to be seen. But
hey, Eddie Beach will be the best one of them all. You'll see. So let's talk about Liverpool. They brought in Darwin Nunez as their big summer signing. Obviously, they got Carvalho in from Fulham. I think that deal was agreed in January.
Yeah.
And they, right at the end of the window, they also brought in Arthur Melo on loan from Juventus to sort of address their lack of numbers in midfield. At the same time, they lost Sadio Mane. They sold Takumi Minamino. They got 15 million for him.
Scandalous.
Oh, fair play.
Yes.
And they contributed to the Nottingham Forest home for misplaced players by giving them Nico Williams.
Yeah, I none of those deals in isolation is bad, but it just feels like Liverpool are weaker. And when you consider that the only major outgoing is Sadio Mane, it just feels like, I don't know, a lot rests on Darwin Nunez, and I'm not as high on him as some others seem to be. I don't think he does enough. He disrupts their attack.
The change in style of play is what
that's
kind of concerns me with them.
Yeah, he doesn't facilitate at all. And as we said, Salah looks to be suffering for it. Yeah, it feels like they don't have as many goals in their team anymore, which is a big problem. But
I mean, losing Sadio Mane will do that.
Yeah.
But also, Arthur Melo, that feels like... So, I'm going to be honest, that feels like a very Man United, end of window panic buy signing from the last, 4 or 5 years.
No, United would have signed him permanently.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah,
we would have got him on a permanent.
He is on loan. I agree with you in terms of the profile. That just
Hey, we had the good sense to only loan Radamel Falcao. I don't see why we wouldn't just loan Arthur Melo.
Didn't you guys sign Igalo?
No, he was alone as well.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you do have some sense. I'm joking. You do not have any sense.
I fucking love Igalo. That is my Nigerian prince, and you will treat him with respect.
Why? He did nothing for you. He
scored a very nice goal in the Europa League.
That guy is the reason Nigeria didn't qualify from the group stage of the World Cup. He's shit. I'm sorry.
God bless him.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah, sorry, where were we? United, stupid, reeling
Igalo.
back. Oh, yes, no, Liverpool, not Igalo.
Oh, the salt. There's still that salt. There's a lovely flaky bit of salt on everything you say, and I do love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Liverpool, I guess that we will know more. It's all in Nunez, really. He has to deliver, and that's not assured. He's got 1 goal this season, right? He hasn't scored since the opening day. Sure, he was suspended, but that's his fault. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we just jump through a few more. Right.
I mean, big signings. We mentioned briefly Alexander Isak at Newcastle.
I really like this player.
They've signed Sven Botman as well, who I'm a pretty big fan of. They made some good signings, I think. They haven't accelerated through this development phase too quickly, in my opinion. They've gone for the right profile of player.
Yeah. They acted quickly on Wilson's injury, right? They decided straight away, okay, we cannot rely on this guy, which is what some Arsenal fans wanted Arsenal to do when Partey got injured. Isak is a personal favorite of mine. Before we were linked to Jesus, Isak was my favorite striker to be linked with. I think he's going to be really good for them.
I mean, based on the evidence of his first 2 games, he's already settling in well.
He ripped apart. Did you see that goal that was disallowed? The offside one against Liverpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus. Just destroyed.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's going to be some player. At least I hope so. I'm looking forward to watching him develop. I think Newcastle are a problem. They haven't had the greatest start, lots of draws in there, but when they get going, I think they could make a push.
I mean, they're also dealing with a lot of injuries right now. No Wilson, no Sam Maximan, no Bruno Guimaraes on the weekend. This is Newcastle not at full strength right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Sam Maximan's only missed 1 game, right? He's been there, and he's been
I
decent.
think so.
Yeah, so.
But Guimaraes is a big miss.
He is. Anyone else?
Any other big signings?
Paqueta for West Ham was a big one. That is
a nice little pickup at the end of the window. I think he did play against Chelsea.
He did, yeah. It was decent. Scamacha's a bit of a concern because he's not done anything. Yeah.
No, he's been. I think Tommy predicted that he'd be the flop of the season, and he's off to a solid start.
He is. So,
but yeah, if there's anything else, any other players that caught your eye, or
we'll sign some Portuguese players, some good ones. There's a surprise.
Probably, they will ruin them.
Yeah. But no, I think
it upsets me. It upsets me when players go to Wolves. I'm sorry, Wolves fans. It upsets me because I hate it.
What's the guy's name again? The agent, Mendes.
George Mendes.
Yeah, Jorge Mendes. Yeah.
Did you see that they're giving a trial to Diego Costa?
That sounds very Football Manager. That.
Very
Football Manager.
Bring him back to the Premier League. Bring back the shithousery. But once we're talking about Diego Costa, it's time for us to sign off. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 442 and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you to the Woodland Spirit of Tommy, and thank you to An-Toni. Oh, sorry, Tony.
You fucked that up royally, but unless you intended to do that, which is insulting. Very insulting.
Fucked it up almost as badly as Arsenal's defense on that third goal.
Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much for joining. This will come back to haunt me, but I'm getting my licks in when I can. Oh, the taste of salt is delicious on a Monday morning. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.